Happy Memorial Day. Before we begin our guided meditation, there's a few things I would like to read to you. This comes from a book on ancient Druidic teachings. There is nothing in creation which is bad in itself, for everything has its part in the balance of nature. Only man, in his ignorance of such balance, labels things so. By our belief, darkness is no less good than light. Each exists in divine contrast to its opposite. Think for a moment about that which is around us. Can you imagine night without day, spring without winter, the sun without the moon? Each element remains unto itself, since true balance is achieved by the existence of opposites, not, as most others believe, by their union. I believe some people call that yin and yang. You see, we don't need to label things. When we do, sometimes we cause our own suffering. Now, this is a wonderful little soliloquy about frogs. It comes from one of my Zen books, which kind of pertains to the same thing I just read. In the lush bushes beside a small pond, there lived a family of frogs. The biggest frog spoke to the smaller ones. Heaven is there for frogs, and earth is there for frogs, so that we have room in which to live. Yippee! All shouted. Water is there for frogs, and the air is there for frogs. Yippee! Yippee! Shouted all the tiny frogs. The bugs in the air are there for frogs, and the fruit on the ground is there for frogs. Yippee! Yippee! Danced all the frogs. Suddenly, a large snake appeared and ate one of the little frogs. The snake, smiling and full, slithered away. The poor little guy, said the biggest frog. That was scary, said all the smaller frogs. So, are snakes there for frogs too? Asked one small frog. Of course. Snakes are there for us all as well. If there weren't any snakes to eat some of us, then we would overmultiply, and then there wouldn't be room for all of us. Well, that makes sense, smiled all the small frogs. You see, there is no definite standard of good and bad. When something happens, it all depends on whether you look at it from the good side or the bad side. So what exactly is reality? Close your eyes for a moment and visualize a blueberry, a cup of tea in probably a very beautiful porcelain teacup, and a thought. Maybe an anxious thought occurred into your mind, or a pleasant thought occurred into your mind. But with your eyes closed, ponder these things: a blueberry, a cup of tea, and an idea or a thought. Which of these things are real? Ponder this question for a moment. So which is real? Well, you see, I had a blueberry, and I had a cup of tea, and I also had a thought. And while your eyes were closed, I ate the blueberry. I drank the cup of tea, and I accidentally dropped it on the floor, so now the teacup is completely shattered. And my thought, well, you can't see it, is fleeting. I let it go. So then, what is reality? What do you see before you? Nothing. Nothing is reality. All things and thoughts are impermanent. Attachment to impermanent things and thoughts brings you only suffering. Non-attachment to things and thoughts brings you eternal peace. The nature of things is fundamental, perpetual silence, open and clear, without limits or boundaries. If you place your mind in the midst of grasping and rejecting, you will be under the influence of those two states. If you concentrate, enter trance, and sit in meditation, focusing on an objective, setting your mind on awareness and contemplation, practicing the way like a mechanical mannequin, when will you ever arrive at the goal? All things are fundamentally empty. There is nothing to stick to. Objects are like floating clouds, certain to disperse. When you realize the basic emptiness of fundamental essence, that will be like a fever's breaking. Don't speak of it to the ignorant, or they'll beat your body to pieces. That was written by Pao Chi, titled The Nature of Things. So, sit back, relax, and gently close your eyes. Fold your hands in your lap and take a deep inhalation. Visualize your inhalation as expansion, expanding out to the universe. And then visualize your exhale. While holding expansion, exhale. And feeling a sense of grounding to the earth. Inhale, and allow that expansion outward to give any thought that enters into your mind space. Space to be observed by you. And then, as you exhale, visualize that thought dissolving down with the exhale, leaving your body. And again, inhale. And exhale. And focusing your breath. Allowing that breath to expand you. And then focusing the exhale to ground you. And if a thought enters into that expansive space, don't grasp it. Observe it. With a feeling of calm abiding, observe how the thought may make you feel at the present moment. And then realize that your exhale can allow that thought to drift away. Take a deep inhalation. Expand your awareness, your conscious awareness out to the universe. Further and further, you spend the effort to expand, and then exhale. All things in existence expand and contract. Be one with divine light as you inhale. Give yourself peace of mind knowing that a thought, which is nothing, can simply be observed and then sent on its way, dissolving into the ether on the exhale. Say to yourself that thoughts are not reality. Only now is real. Only truth and the self are real. All else is nothing and no thing. No thing can make you mad. No thing can make you anxious. No thing can make you suffer. As the inhale expands your conscious awareness, fill your void with divine light. And as you exhale, allow that divine light to clear any negative feelings that you may have. Create a state of balance with your inhale and your exhale. Remember that those who know do not talk, while those who talk do not know. Remain steady in your breathing. Relaxed in knowing that any thought or thought form that occurs is simply something to be observed, like a flower or a cloud. And then allow that cloud to just float and disperse on the exhale. And return your awareness back to your breathing. With a few more inhalations and exhalations, feel yourself grounded and at peace, centered in the reality of the now, letting go of any past anxieties, feeling the breath guide down your throat and into your heart. Visualize a white lotus glowing in your heart center. And from that heart center, in that white lotus, visualize more white light spreading out, surrounding you in peace and calm abiding. when you are present, when your attention is fully in the now, that presence will flow into and transform what you do. There will be quality and power in it. You are present when what you are doing is not primarily a means to an end, but fulfilling in itself. When there is joy and aliveness in what you do. You cannot be present unless you become friendly with the present moment. That is the basis for effective action, uncontaminated by negativity. In this state of calm abiding, release all of your limitations that you have set upon yourself. For those limitations are merely thought forms that you have grasped onto. And through your connection to the divine light, to the divine source of all intelligence, know that you are a perfect being, calm, grounded, and centered. And as you stay in a steady state of awareness only on to your breath and this feeling of balanced calmness, know that you can take this now as your new normal, because this is the true state of being. And now gently, gently open your eyes. Smile a half smile. And know that you can always return to this state anytime you wish by simply sitting and breathing. I wish you a glorious Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe. Be smart. We are all in this together, and we'll get through this together. Namaste.